Hi everyone, now I'm going to be tying this fly here. Now basically what this is a Welsh Partridge. Now as a request I got asked if I could tie this. Now I'm going to put I'll put some photographs up of the fly just now, and you'll see the actual fly, number 8 circled with a pen. And as well I'll put up some text from it's actually the Dictionary of Trout Flies by Courtney Williams this fly comes out of. And I say as a request, so I'm going to be tying it. This is it here. Now if you read the text, obviously it works both on rivers and lochs, and especially April and May, and then into towards September time, so it's certainly worth a go. Claret's one of these colours. It's a claret body, claret hackle. It amazes me sometimes. It seems to work when everything else fails. So it's certainly worth a tie. Worth having one or two in your box. So you can tie it in a size. It's recommended in a 12 and a 14. So I'm going to tie it in a size 12. Thread I'm going to be using is the Uni 80 in black. Now I have waxed the thread. Now I'm going to run the thread down. Now there's 2 or 3 ways I could tie this fly, but I'm going to stick to mainly the traditional way, to take the thread down to basically just before the bend, before it starts to go round the bend. Now it recommends partridge tail feather. Now I'm going to mix this with some cock hackle fibres, just to protect it, just to help it last that wee bit longer. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take off some cock fibres. It's just a natural brown Chinese cock, or even Indian, and bring out maybe around about 4 lengths, though it does ask only for 2, but I'm going to make it a wee bit heavier. So I'm bringing out so they're lined up, bring them together. You're looking for a length round about the hook length just to balance it. Put it on, that's fine, I'm happy with that. 2 or 3 turns. Trim it. Now give yourself a good, there's 2 hackles up here, so you want at least well, if you count it like in thirds, but at least a third of the shank to tie in the hackles. Now the rib of the fly, it says gold. Now I'm using a flat gold tinsel. This is a small, and you catch it on. Now I'm actually going to make sure this is secure, so I'm going to tidy up, take the thread up, and then come back down. The body's claret seals fur, so I'm going to use claret seals fur here. And you slightly dub it on. Start it off, and then we just get a reasonable body. Don't make it too heavy. You can try what you like. I mean, it's up to yourself. But I'm keeping it reasonably thin, as I say, to there. Take away excess. Bring your rib up through. You're looking round about 5 times. Get a nice quill-like effect with the gold and the claret blend. I'm just stroking these fibres back to catch it in. Wax your thread. Especially with tinsel, because the tinsel will cut your thread. Once you've got a good 3-4 turns in there, and you can break away the tinsel. You can break away or cut it away, it's up to you. But because it's tinsel, it's easy to break. You can snip it off. Now this is just a Chinese cock hackle. It's the remains anyway. So I'm using up the small feathers. Got one here. Just remove the fluff, trim the stem so you can have enough to tie it in. Make sure you wax your thread. That's secure. You want the inside of the hackle facing towards the eye, because this is a dry fly. Now you could tie this as a wet fly as well, it'd be a great wet fly. Now I'm going to use the hackle up here. I'm just stroking the fibre back if you catch any fibre, just use your fingers, draw it back and then do a turn in front. That'll lock it. Just going to use that as much as a hackle. There we are. Secure it in. Take away your hackle pliers and make sure you got all the fibres. Trim. Draw back these hackles just slightly so that you can actually tidy this area up. and leave a room for your hackle, the partridge hackle, and there it's there. Now you can either tie it with the inside facing forward or slightly back. I like to get a nice shape. I mean, when you start to cast this, the fibre's going to lay towards the back anyway, so I like to get the good coloured side facing the eyes, so you can tie it either way. So remove the fluff. I'm using my hackle pliers to get the tip of the hackle. You want a nice well marked feather. Trim it so you've got enough fibre to, enough of the stem to tie it on. Just make sure you're right up to the hackle. Again, make sure there's wax there. It's up to you how much hackle you put on. Like, it's quite a bushy fly if you look at it in the photograph. So I'm going to stick to that. So we basically draw the fibre back like you would do a wet, but lightly. The one turn in front of the other. Just work towards the eye. I'm going to use up the full hackle. Once I get to this point, I'm going to catch it on. 2 or 3 turns. The stems of these are quite thin, so what I'm going to do is take my hackle pliers off. Form a head by just folding it back and working up again a wee bit. Keeping the thread tight, I can actually break away the stem. Well, I can usually. Doesn't want to break. So there is a point where you have to stop, because then you're going to pull the fly apart. Sometimes it breaks quite easy, but it's not going to do it today. So what I'm going to do now is just put some varnish on my thread, wet finish. The reason I like doing it this way with the varnish on the thread is it's very rare that I get it coming loose when I do that. So, and you don't need to varnish it after. Trim away your thread. It's going to bring out, there you go, your hackle. And there we are, and that's the Welsh Partridge. Looks okay, seems to be sitting quite well. I mean, it is what we'd call a spider pattern, and I can see it working for, what do you call it, like a March Brown or so. And I know it's not the right colour of March Brown, but I mean, Claret, as I say, is a colour that seems to work when other colours don't. This would be a great fly in the lochs, especially for sepia. It's a sepia dun. It's in this size as well, size 12. Marlin Claret is a wet fly if you're going to be fishing it. Or grouse and claret's another one. But as a dry fly, this would work. This would do well for the dun coming off. I'll certainly use it for that. So there we are. That's the Welsh Partridge. So I hope you enjoyed that, and again, thanks for watching.